we get to share it all the time, but kind of thought you can share it too. We're talking about today taking an activity that excited you in your classroom and bringing it into your community and creating a small mini museum type exhibit that you get to share with your town. Whether it's at a farmer's market or a car show or a food festival or a music festival or an art event in your town. Our goal is that at the end of this presentation, you'll get some ideas of classroom activities that'll take place this next school year. And hopefully your students will be excited and you'll be interested enough that you'll want to take it into town to one of these events that connects with that topic in your classroom and create an exhibit and share it with your community in order to let your community know what's happening inside the school. It's not just a building that they drive by every day, that there are really great ideas and great side of there.
All right, and so hi, I'm going to introduce us. My name is Melissa Say. I am the director of the Northeast Louisiana Children's Museum and also co-founder of Exhibits on the Go. Exhibits on the Go is a company that we launched just this year. It's an exciting new idea in museums. It's the idea of creating a themed exhibit that's easily assembled and can be sent to small towns so that a small town, maybe perhaps it wouldn't be able to house a children's museum year-round, would be able to have one through renting our exhibits 3 or 4 times a year. This is my partner Frank Del Medico.
Yep. I met Melissa. I worked in baseball beforehand and received graduate education in educational psychology. And we met after that. I was renting out winter-themed attractions, and the museum wanted a winter-themed event. So we worked on something together, and then several years later, we decided that, hey, there's more than just winter-themed stuff. Let's grow this and let's do something together. So we joined forces to do something together and bring museums to small town America.
Yeah, and speaking of that, we also, not to limit the ideas to small town America, it can be we can also rent our exhibits to big towns that can use it in different sections of their town that kind of make it smaller and more of a community activity.
So our recipe's really simple when we make an exhibit. We want to make sure that we cover 3 areas. We want to have a learning opportunity throughout the exhibit, and we want to have a playing opportunity. We want the kids and the adults that are sharing time together to learn and play together. And then all of our exhibits have a create component. Sometimes they have more than one create component, but we want them to take what they learned and what they interacted with, and we want them to be able to make something and take it home. In today's project, they're going to be able to learn a little bit about germination, and they're going to actually make a project and take it home. Melissa's going to show us about that project.
All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to make a little mini garden inside a glove. You need just a few things. It's a very low-cost project. 1 plastic food service glove.
And the bag that's in your kit that was sent to you from the conference office.
5 cotton balls that will stretch out in a minute. A twisty tie to keep it closed at the end. And seeds. Now, we picked larger seeds because it's easier for smaller hands. We also picked seeds that we knew were fast growing. So beans
and peas.
Beans and peas are.
And a variety of both, because we had some different colors and textures in the seeds, and they're just a little more appealing, and like you said, the kids can handle them.
That's right. And then water is just the last thing that you need. Okay, so while Frank tells you a little bit about how we teach the idea, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just stretch out the cotton balls, because that's one part of it that needs to be done, so that they're kind of stretchy and can kind of make a nest for the seed to be put in.
So in our exhibits, we'll have larger scale graphics. We'll have, around each area, we'll have a panel that will describe maybe the history of something, and then some tips or rules for how to interact with it if it's like our games exhibit. or we'll have big 8-foot by 8-foot walls that'll tell more of a story and give more information. But in a downtown or a farmer's market situation like this, most of our towns will have an A-frame. You might have them, maybe the athletic department puts them out, or the music department or theater when they have something coming up. So we just have a double-sided A-frame, and we just used liquid chalk. We wrote seed germination, so that you can, in something like this, it'd be a little more free-flowing. Kids that come in and out, it's not like they're all gonna come at one time and leave at one time. And then your volunteers can guide them through that. You could put some text on it, they could get themselves through it on their own if you're busy with a large group. But we just kind of wanted to show what happens to the seed, because you don't get to see it under the ground. They're going to have a chance to see it in the glove, but we want to give them a little idea ahead of time. What are they going to look forward to? So we have the seed, and it's already starting to sprout a little bit of a root system. And that's going to be after a couple days of the proper light, moisture, oxygen levels, things like that. It'll start to sprout a little bit. And then as the days progress, the root system will expand and it'll start to obtain some root hairs. And it'll be pretty easy to see, especially without the dirt around it. And there'll be a contrasting color between the root and the cotton ball, so they'll see that. Then it's gonna pop out of the soil. They won't see that, right, because we don't have the soil, but they're gonna see green starting to really grow. And there'll be little tiny leaves. It's gonna happen about 4 days, 5 days, depending on the situation. If they're gonna start to see some growth, it's really gonna happen for them. And then as it expands, as the week progresses, or we get into the second week, they're gonna start to see it really start to take off. They're gonna have a stalk involved, and they're gonna really establish some larger leaves with some veins in those to move moisture around. So.
All right, it's just a simple concept of how you make the project. As Frank mentioned, it's kind of a make and take that you can set out, and people as they come in can make it and take it home with them. And so it's a kind of a leisurely project that you can do outside of the classroom.
And that might be the hardest thing to get used to, right? Because in a classroom, the kids come in, you're introducing it, you have your plan all set. In a museum setting, it's going to be in and out, or you know, in your little pop-up museum setting.
Mm-hmm.
There's really no control, and they may just want to make the activity, or they may just want to read and leave, or maybe mom, dad, and the kids, and grandma and grandpa all want to make.
Right, or you can add a story to it and make it a story time and activity too. I know one of the books that we use for our seed planting is one called Fran's Flowers, and it really is an adorable story about how a seed grows and gives what needs to be right in order for it to grow right, and that can be a connection from storybook to activity to community. Okay, so what we do is we take the glove, stretch it out so that all the finger holes are open. Frank is going to be my lovely assistant. He's going to hand me the loosened up cotton balls to put in each finger hole that are going to kind of be the nest for each of the seeds. Okay, so we take and we put one in each hole. Again, we like an idea of an activity having some skills that they're learning about, motor skills, their fine motor skills, and this one takes a little coordination too to get into each of the holes. All right. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit of water, a little bit of moisture to each of the holes. And our trick here is that we like to take just a regular water bottle and pop a hole in the top of it so that it just drips a little bit of the water out at a time instead of all spilling out. And we're going to get a little bit of moisture into each of the finger holes, because that's one of the things that seeds need for germination is water. All right, you got them all? And then we're going to drop a seed into each finger hole. And we have found by doing this a few times that sometimes it takes a couple of people, so you need a buddy. You can do it on your own, but it's nice to have a second set of hands to hold on to it, so there's sharing and
I think the other really neat thing about a project like this for your school is that it empowers the students to actually really take part and kind of obtain a little mastery knowledge of what they just learned in the class and share it with someone who's younger and really going to be interested in it.
Exactly. And then we just close it up tight with the twisty tie. We like to have a Sharpie on hand to mark the child's name on it. You can also write on the fingers what type of bean it is in each one if you want to be that technical about it to kind of keep track of what you're growing. And that's it. That's the completed project.
Well, we want to just say that we hope that after seeing us do this and hearing a little bit about how we do it on a larger scale, that it really can happen on a really small scale, like a 10-foot by 10-foot space. And there's plenty of opportunities in your town and your communities to take what you're doing in the classroom and bring it into the community and share with people. So we really hope that you'll accept this challenge or idea and make it your own.
That's right. And of course, going along with our theme to learn, play, and create. Our contact information is...
Forgot to turn it.
Here it is. We are on the go. We have a website at exhibitsonthego.com. We also have a Facebook page, LinkedIn, and Instagram for current information. Please on those and follow us. There, we can find out where we're traveling around the country, what activities we have going on. We're coming to a town near you. But also, we want to express that we love ideas. You have some ideas to share. If something aha happened and you have an idea that you could see become a little pop-up exhibit or a pop-up museum, please contact us, and maybe one day you'll be a part of our Exhibits on the Go, and we can work together.
Yes, thank you so much again. Again, please share with us whether it's the smallest idea that a town could just do on their own at little or no cost. This project's about 20 cents a kid, or something that's a larger scale that we need to consider putting into one of our more major traveling exhibits. Please share with us. We look forward to hearing from you. Thanks so much for your time again, and we hope to hear from you. And bye now.
Bye.